No problem, Mike.
All members and guests, when I put the speech together, I had to add the title, the wording second choice to my speech. Because if you look at my company, globalization really happened 5 years ago. That's when our company marketed the software to places like Asia and Australia. And if some of you may remember, not long after that, I went to India. But tonight, my speech is not about the past as much about the future. And so what I want to do is share a deeper vision of globalization and tie it to the two core competencies of Toastmasters, the communication and leadership. And by doing that, I want to inspire you to take out the next opportunity you may have at work to participate in globalization. So what is globalization? Wikipedia gave a definition along the lines of distributing product and services throughout the world. To me, that's actually pretty shallow. That sounds like what FedEx does. So what I'm going to argue is that globalization is fundamentally about creating wealth throughout the world. Do you know that out of the 100 top economic entities today, over half are corporations in our countries? So when companies like McDonald's, Hyatt Hotels, or God forbid, even the Hard Rock Cafe opens a business in all places, say Pune, India, that's real money infusing into and stimulating the local economy. When I was in India, this is the image of what economic boom looks like to me. We were driven out to the countryside on outskirts of city. We came across a lot filled with just new bricks, clay red brick. The pounds were like maybe this high, and they were neatly stacked. And because they were so freshly made, you can actually see smoke still coming out of them. They were there laying on the grass. We drove down a couple minutes later. Sure enough, there's another lot that looks pretty much the same. Bright new colored bricks, all stack up. Rows after rows after rows, several lots like that. They're all for the construction of new homes in this whole area. And everywhere I went around Pune, that's what I saw. So this is globalization, helping move people out of poverty. Globalization is creating wealth. So how does wealth get created? My second point is that wealth is created through the creation of new products and services, through exchange of ideas. And that's where the communication competence comes from. You see, there are at least two fronts where communication is very actively happening, between, say, a buyer and a seller, and within the whole company, right, all the subject level experts. So if you look at how a corporation like ours today interacts with the largest customers, they're forming partnership, where one side, but we no longer can just tell them what we sell, but we have to listen to what they say about their needs are. We then in turn turns around and scramble among all the experts we have in our company to find the solution. And all of this happening across different geographic locations in real time. This is why that if you have the ability to communicate effectively across different cultures and different time zones, you can make a real difference in business scenario. Lastly, I want to talk about leadership. Globalization requires strong leadership. This past weekend, I was at District 56 Spring Conference. I attended a seminar by George Garrett about leadership in the 21st century, and globalization was one of his topics. But he also referred to topics about project leadership and living the vision. Let me talk about that in the context of globalization. He gave an analogy of a Toastmaster meeting, how the Toastmaster for the meeting, like Mark Takayama, have to pull participation from the different functionaries and the speakers to make the meeting happen. This is really hard because, as you may know, Toastmasters doesn't really have any formal authority over you to say, force you to come to them. This is very much the same situation with global project. It's not done by threats or formal power. So that's one part. As for living the vision, I kind of look at it as walk the walk, right? It's easy to talk globalization, but walk it. And what I mean that there's going to be times when you're doing this, that somebody will call you up on the other side of the world, asking for your help, and that's when you have to step up, rise to the challenge, and give them your help so that they continue to trust you. That's leadership. And sometimes, yes, you will have to physically pack up your bag and travel to that location. And believe me, offsite business trips like this are not glamorous at all. I want to give you an example of what a colleague of mine recently asked. He's a senior colleague of mine. He's, for the last year or so, most of this last year, he's been living in a nice, dark, gloomy, cold place up in Northern Ireland. For purposes, let's just picture it way out here on this corner. His family's way back there in warm southern India. He has a wife and a son. So think about that. He's for most of this year, he's there, they're back there. That's a lot of personal sacrifice. But he's willing to make the sacrifices so that this project over in Ireland can succeed. That's why globalization requires strong leadership. In closing, I want to tie this thing together. What I'm saying is that globalization is a continuing journey. It's a journey between human beings bonding together, improving our lives together. And you, as professional speaking Toastmasters, are uniquely positioned to participate in that journey. Your strong leadership and communication skills will allow you to succeed where others will not. For that reason, I strongly encourage you to take up the opportunity you have at the next job to do that, to engage in globalization.